Okay, dokie. All right. So thank you very much for joining me this morning. This is episode 29 of Sprinkler Talk, and we're going to be looking at the world of modular construction, and in particular, modular construction as far as the sprinkler side of things goes. So obviously that's what we're all about here with Sprinkler Talk. We're talking about automatic fire sprinkler systems. I was sitting here trying to remember when I actually started these presentations. It feels like COVID has been around all the time when I've been doing these presentations. So yeah, if you're not watching from the UK, then you might not know. We just started our sort of second phase of lockdown. This is kind of day one of lockdown 2.0. It's supposed to last about a month. So yeah, I hope everyone's doing well. Hope everyone's staying safe and healthy. I'm still at work because we are, effectively manufacturers, and therefore we are in work and being socially distant, of course, and careful with how we do things around here. But yeah, Project Fire is still, doing well, doing business. We're making product, we're shipping product. So yeah, do kind of remember that yeah, we are fully open for the time being. All right, let's get into it then. So modular construction as a thing has been around for many years, and it's becoming more and more popular. Lots of advantages with doing things in this kind of way. We're talking about manufacturing things off-site. We're talking about making sub-assemblies off-site. We're talking about making things so that you've got many similar things that could all be made off-site and then brought together and then just slotted into place. And obviously that requires a lot of accuracy in terms of the build. So you're preparing for something that is going to arrive, that's going to slot into place. Obviously things need to be made accurately, and also we need good coordination between the various different construction elements to kind of come together and make something that kind of fits first time, or at least fits after the minimum amount of jiggling about. So here's a couple of examples for you. We're talking about hotels, for example, be a good example of this. There are going to be some differences between different rooms. You might have, kind of more prestigious rooms than others, but in the majority of cases, with a hotel, a room's a room. It's the same construction, same bathroom, same dimensions, same bed, same fixtures. Often it's the same picture on the wall, and therefore things can be done in an off-site construction basis, so they can be brought in and then just plonked into place, and that saves time in construction. And saving time saves money. So there's also some other advantages as well, which we'll come on to. So this idea of, say, doing modular construction is something that I feel is still gaining in popularity. It doesn't have to be as big as a whole room, of course. It could just be something like a lighting rig, for example, where you've got lights, maybe speakers, electrical cables that are all, again, pre-engineered into a block, and then that can be just clipped into place to speed up some of these construction works. So advantages of modular construction. So these are talking in general, but obviously they do apply to what I'm going to talk about later in terms of sprinkler construction as well. But yeah, general advantages of modular construction, it's down to speed. I guess that the total time of work may not be any quicker. It probably still is, but it may not be. But the actual speed of construction on site definitely will be speeded up, because there's actually less work going on site. There's more work going on off site and then being brought in, and so that the actual pace of construction will be increased. And same, that kind of links into speed of installation. because say things are being prepared in advance, that means the actual installation speed can be increased. Quality of assembly, obviously that's not necessarily the case, but that's certainly the idea of modular construction, is that you've got a company, say, that are supplying the bathrooms. So they are in charge of their own quality for that unit. So they're going to build it in the way that they want to build it. They're going to test it, and they're going to say, yeah, we are happy with this unit. And obviously any failings are going to come back to them. Without modular construction, obviously you might have a situation on site where people are going to blame each other. They're going to say, well, it's not my fault, I did my bit, but now it's leaking. Well, someone must have messed with it. There's always a bit of an argument in terms of why something's gone wrong. With modular construction, I guess there's still a chance that things are going to go wrong, but there's a better chance, say, that one company are going to say, right, we are taking full responsibility for this unit, and once it gets on site, then it's done. Compact design. So we can plan things out in advance. But often that means that we can be more efficient with how things are designed, and also it means that we can be more clever with how kind of particular pipes and cables can be routed. Because if we're doing it off-site, again with the example of a bathroom, for example, all the plumbing, they can actually walk all the way around this unit and do the pipe work nice and easily. If they were doing it on site, then it becomes a bit more tricky because walls are already in place, construction's already there. So again, that all helps to create a compact design. So again, same as speed of construction, doing things quicker saves money, and saving space also saves money. Fewer deliveries. The deliveries on site can be a real headache, particularly if it's in a kind of a built-up area. There's problems with parking, or signing things in, signing things out, signing for deliveries. Often, again, we know from our experience at Project Fire, we have good couriers. Everything's signed for, and there's processes to go through. But still, you get the case where, we've delivered it, and the customer says, well, I don't know where it is, and we have to just kind of suck it up most of the time and send them a new one. But obviously, it all slows things down when things go missing, and things get stolen as well. I mean, I haven't put that on the slide, but again, materials and equipment get stolen and goes missing on site. If it's kind of manufactured into one larger unit, then it is less likely that things are going to get stolen and lost. Material efficiencies is another good example here. So again, from an environmental point of view, this is good. Again, if you are responsible for doing, I'll keep going back to these kind of bathroom pods, I suppose, as an example. But if you're making 100 bathroom pods, then you can be very efficient with the materials that you are using. If you're on site, then you're going to be using half a tube of sealant, and then you throw it away and you start a fresh one the next day. We can be more efficient with materials, less waste, better for the environment, and also reduces cost. Being more efficient with materials helps save cost as well. Cost saving, that's where they come from. To do with all these other aspects, we get cost savings. A known size in advance, and now that's really helpful for consultants and for architects, again, to kind of plan things out, an efficient design. Again, definitely with the sprinkler industry, consultants, they want to know, how much void space do I need? How much riser space do I need? What are the size of the fire pumps? What are the size of the alarm valves? All of this needs to be kind of calculated to make sure there's enough space when it comes to installation. But now we have things like BIM and Revit and sort of planning things out in advance, down to each individual nut and bolt almost, then yeah, having everything available in advance means that size requirements and spaces can be more carefully planned out, and again, that all has advantages as well. Yeah, known design in advance again just helps the overall scheme to be more thoroughly thought through. So loads of advantages in this kind of idea of modular construction and say pre-planning to make sure everything just slots into place. What about the sprinkler world then? So there's lots of things that we do already and have been doing for many, many years, such as sprinkler fabrication. So pipe work can be pre-cut to length, it can be pre-drilled, so there's lots of sort of fabrication works that we can do in advance, and again that's quite common to see, mainly because cutting, grooving, putting pipe threads on, all of that, it requires quite specialist equipment, quite heavy equipment, and definitely with some processes, if you were doing them on site, it would require various permits, etc., which again all just adds time and hassle and cost to the project. So prefabricating the sprinkler pipe work is quite a common thing to do. There's a roller groover to put in grooves in the pipes. So again, we do a similar process at Project Fire to put the grooves in our pipes. They can all be done on. So everything is designed in advance, and then it arrives in a big kind of jigsaw puzzle. So obviously labeling is very important, so that the site fitters know exactly where everything is going to go. And yeah, same with the advantage I put on there in terms of quality. So some of these joints can be checked in advance. All these welds, again, they'll be inspected before they get on site, give them the best chance of being correct. And that's an example there. What you might have when it's kind of arrives on site, say a big, seemingly a big jumble of pipes, but it can, if they're carefully labelled and identified, then they can be then compared to the drawing and fitted into place nice and easy. Inventions like this. So this is a flexi drop or a flexible connection. I'm not sure if Rapid Drop invented this. I think they did. Certainly theirs is the most sort of popular design with this kind of flexible joint. And again, this is not modular construction as such, but it helps to speed up construction. It's got a lot of those advantages in play, which means you don't have to do the final fiddly bit of the smaller pipe work. Again, using threads, using barrel nipples and hex nipples and things just to kind of jiggle it around to get the sprinkler head in exactly at the spot that you want. You could just use a flexible connection, and again, that really speeds up that kind of second fix works. Residential pump skids, for example. So again, we've got all the equipment that we need, all that's pre-packaged. Again, that will just arrive on site, connected up, and then away we go. So again, we've got pump skids. We get pre-packaged pump skids. So we've got diesel pumps, electric pumps. So the previous one, that's for obviously residential domestic market. But this one is, again, available for industrial and commercial applications as well. Pre-packaged pump houses. So again, the whole thing is actually ready to go. So actually, if you wanted some kind of container for the pump to go in, then again, they can be supplied as a pre-packaged unit as well. Again, has had all the advantages we mentioned earlier. And it's probably not too surprised to know that the Project Fire, we've got our own version of these pre-packaged units. We call them Firepods. So our Firepods are designed for kind of two key areas of sprinklers. So first of all, at the alarm valve stage and also at the zone stage. So we have our zone checks, bell checks, alarm valves, all pre-fabricated, pre-fitted, pre-tested, pre-wired, all ready to go. So that's a nice render showing we've got alarm valve Firepods on the ground floor or in the basement levels. Then we can see that the riser pipes going up there, and we have zone check Firepods on each floor to serve the zones on the floor. Yeah, that's a bit more of a close-up here. So that one's showing a double and a single. So we sell the zone check Firepods in as like a double zone, a single zone. Obviously, you can bolt them together to create as many zones as you need, but for each floor, and then they'll just be connected, water in at the bottom, zones out on the top, and then the drain connection will be made as well. So these are designed to be plug and play. We've done absolutely as much as we possibly can in advance. Just needs to be, say, connected at the bottom, connected at the top, connected to the drain, and then it comes with a flying lead to be connected to power. Just a single 3-amp fuse spur is required to run the zone checks and then to power the IMMs. Part of our zone check addressable system, which is going to be offering you remote testing of the flow switches, remote monitoring of the flow switches, and the zone valves, the monitor zone valves. And we have the test. We have the drain lines, so I'd say drain lines included in there as well. If you wanted to drain the zone, then that equipment is there when you need it. So there's a kind of a different picture there showing the different components. So our zone check Firepods are going to have our zone checks built in. Obviously, we are the manufacturers of zone check, and they can come as standard. They come as our addressable equipment, but they can be made with key switches as well. The monitored butterfly valves are approved butterfly valves. Again, they can be swapped out depending on client requests. The pipe work is all this kind of powder coated design which we have on the manifolds of our zone check, so it looks really smart. And again, it's a known size in advance. It's a compact design which still allows for good access for maintenance. So these are available to download. So yeah, it's all been designed on CAD. So with known sizes, we can provide all of these drawings for you. And as I say, it just makes it a really nice, neat job, which is what is required these days on site. You know, yes, these units are likely to be out of sight. It's unlikely that any of the public are ever going to see these Firepods. But as I say, it is becoming more and more common for building owners and in the construction industry to really take pride in all aspects of the construction. Because that does make for a better design, keeping things neat and tidy and sort of well organised, so that when maintenance is required in the future, everything's easily accessible and everything kind of makes sense. There's no kind of wandering, I wonder where that wire goes. Yeah, because it's easy to kind of follow the system through. So there's an example here of without Firepod and with Firepod. And there's cost savings as well. So as we mentioned, all of this saving time on site is going to save money. By making them off-site, we can kind of take our time a little bit more. We can do sort of a 9-to-5 job. We don't have to commute into central London, for example. We don't have to worry about car parking and other facilities. You can save money on the delivery costs. We can save on the installation time. So all of this is going to add cost savings into the project. And we actually did a project in Canary Wharf using these Firepods. And off the back of that, we've produced a report which is available to download from our website. You can see the address there at the bottom. www.projectfireproducts.co.uk/products/Firepod. And you can download that booklet. You can have a look at the impressive cost savings that were calculated on that project. There's again an overview of what we're talking about. CapEx savings, yes, in terms of advanced OpEx savings as well. That's what Zone Check's all about testing the flow switches in an efficient manner without discharging any water. Automated testing from our Zone Check addressable technology, sustainable, and really good cost savings as well. We've invested in BIM, so all of our products are available to download in a BIM format. So do contact me if you ever want any files. So we've got BIM files ready to go, so they can be dragged and dropped into your Revit model with really good coordination and planning things out in advance. And that's it for this week. This was a little bit shorter, so I've got a bit closer to my 20-minute target for Sprinkler Talks. So I hope you found that useful to look through what we do as a sprinkler industry in terms of off-site fabrication, the benefits of modular construction, and also knowing about our Firepod designs for alarm valves and for zone valves as well. As always, I'll stick around a few minutes, see if there's any questions or comments. You can pop them in the chat. And yeah, next week we're looking at residential sprinklers. That's going to be part 3. So it's basically tidying up anything that I haven't talked about so far. I'll also look at sprinkler design, giving you an example of laying out the heads in a residential environment. If there's a particular thing that I haven't covered yet in residential sprinklers that you want me to cover, again, send me an email, drop me a comment, and I'll make sure that's covered next week in residential sprinklers part 3. All right, well, thanks so much for tuning in, and hopefully I'll see you next week. All right, bye-bye.